Jello on the beat.
Yeah, the real shop talk. Just come and take a listen. Some grown men with unbiased and honest opinions, and with no agendas, so you just gotta check it. Talking love and life from a male perspective. We keep it authentic, real, no filter. Leave a comment, be part of the show. We here to give you 5 gentlemen's views about manhood, no doubt. This the show you've been needing, yeah, it's the real shop talk. Let's go.
We are back, y'all. It is Monday, 8 p.m. It's the Real Shop Talk, and we're glad you're back. And we're gonna have this show right here it is a very, very, very important show to have. But it's gonna be an easy show for most of us because we can identify with this thing up and down. So, but we want you guys to make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, click that bell to make sure you get every single notification when we go live, and invite some folks right now. Invite them right now, especially, well, I can't even say a category. A lot of us are having problems making new friends. You know how they have that saying, no new friends? And it's like for the rest of your life, no new friends. And I'm like, why would you say that? So we're going to talk about all that stuff tonight. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that... Oh, hold on one second, guys. I know what that is. Does it sound better now? We good? Okay. That's my little mini fan on the side because I got like 1,000 lights on my head. So we're gonna get started here. What I want to do is I want to one thing you'll notice, there's 4 of us here. Our brother Tony Massey is out in that LA weather, getting acclimated to his new climate and the new digs and the new job and all of that stuff. So we definitely want to give him the room to get himself together. And in the meantime, we're going to hold that fort down. We're going to send our positive energy and our prayers and our support his way. And you guys will be seeing him soon. So Tony Massey, if you're listening, we love you, bro. And send us some of that sun and fun this way. some palm trees or something. So on that note, we're going to get started. And the subject tonight is about friendships as an adult. And I'll say, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go around and do just brief introductions. First, my name is Derek Jones, and I am host of the Relationship Gumbo podcast every Wednesday night. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. And I'm going to put the website down on the bottom here. If you go to realshoptalk.net, you can get all of our profiles after the introduction. So I'm going to pass it over to my man, Tony Watts.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm Tony Watts, owner of Triumphant Media Group. We're just here to have a discussion about something that we should really be talking about. It's the only way I think we're going to really grow the community where it needs to be. So let's go.
What's going on? It's me and John Singletary and my co-pilot, John Singletary Jr., LJ, back here in the background, having a good time, man. But we are ready to talk about this topic. We're going to make it a good one. Derek got some surprises for y'all. So I ain't even tell you what to do. Just be ready.
Hey, what's up, guys? I am Gunter Man. I'm the host of the Gunter Man Show every Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern Time on you can see right there on this Instagram right here. That's right. I'm a relationship with self-life coach, and I'm looking forward to tonight. This is something that's going to hit home for all of us. All 4 of us right here. We're going to talk some talk. So you're going to hear some stuff that you need to at least pay attention to. All right.
Yeah, so let's get started. I'm not going to do. I have a bunch of like bullet points, but I'm not going to do them in any particular order. But I do want to start the show by saying this: we're talking about why is it so difficult to maintain adult friendships, and this is something that my wife and I have been talking about for like the past decade. Because it's like, you want some new friends, you might have tried a couple times, and it's like pulling teeth. When you grow up and you got your crew and it's easy because you don't have a lot of obligations and everything is fun. And when you get older, it's like you gotta almost kind of make time to fit people in. But it's like if everybody's like that, then nobody is getting together when we're supposed to be a communal people, right? And the other note that we always talked about when we look at through our social media feeds, and I'll ask Alicia, I want you to find one of your friends that has that's hanging out with a group of friends that they met like in the past 5 years or the past 10 years. It's always that crew from when they graduated high school or they graduated college, and they got those friends and nobody else can come in. So let's talk about Do you think in this age era that we're in now, 2022, is it easier or harder to make time for adult friendships? So anybody can jump off mic.
I think it's always going to be easy. Yep. Because your life is a manifestation of the things that you believe silently. Simple as that. So if you're the mindset that you're going to go out there and interact and serve the world around you, you're going to find yourself surrounded by people that you serve, people that you connect with. You know, we often use the phrase nowadays, find your tribe. Yeah. A lot of times the reason why we're not connecting and making new friends is because we're not pursuing new dreams. It's because I pursued this new dream is where Tony Watts, dude from high school, someone we used to run in a pack for a short period of time, 1,000 friends, New Rochelle, serving the community, doing the talent show, brought me back all the way back to that high school times. And because I pursued a dream, I got my boy here, John Singletary. What? Mr. Laughter himself, filled with all this deepness, who wrote a book, The Journey. What? And there, Professor Above, because I dared to take on something new. This man is filled with all this tech wisdom, and then truth about life, and real genuine care about being there for people, because I took on something new. I found my tribe. And because I did, I have new friends. But take me back to when I was in high school. I ain't have no set group. I ain't have no set crew. None. I was only around people for a short period of time, and then I moved on to the next group. Short period of time, moved on to the next group, because being an entertainer, I was always finding myself in new tribes, but I wasn't sticking around for no long period of time. Just hanging out for whatever the need was, for whatever thing was. And it's not simply my needs, it's whatever the need was for that situation or those particular people, or that's where I was in the cut, until I moved on to the next group. You know, that whole loner mindset. So I have no longtime friends from high school that people like, yeah, you remember we used to do this, and that. No, I was only around you for a short period of time. I have no clique of friends that's my core boys growing up. None, zero. I have people that I know from back then, people I hung out for a short period of times, but no one I know as a lifer friend.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like if I had to stretch it, it will be my buddy Wayne Korn. And Tony might know Wayne Korn from Mount Vernon, because that's about the longest friend I could think of. You know, and other than that, I might have ministry people. I have Trisha Clark, longtime friend. She's now in Trinidad. Longtime friend that we're still friends. But no, didn't have it.
Yeah. Anybody else want to comment on that? Because the next one's going to piggyback.
Yeah, man. Let me get in here. I think it is a little bit more difficult as an adult to do, because you have to prioritize it. So I do have my childhood crew, and we there's 5 of us, and we're definitely a crew, and we're in touch, some more than others, but we're in touch as adults, so that's my childhood crew. I got my high school crew, my college crew, and obviously being a military guy, you got different crews with that. But I think about that because that, with an experience like that, you could say it's easy, but I think those experiences engendered the opportunities. But other people have different stories, you know what I mean? Like I work in, my job causes me to have to be social. So I'm in a lot of social settings. So even if I didn't want to be friends with people, I'm exposed to people all the time. But some people, like I got a buddy, and not to say he doesn't have a lot of friends, but some of the things we talk about is, he's been a barber all his life, so he's never had to work for somebody else. So it's a different dynamic. And you got other people that are different dynamics, and maybe it's a little bit difficult. So I will say this, as an adult, you definitely have to be a lot more intentional about it. Because, growing up, You had it built in. You go to school. That's where you're gonna meet all your friends. You play some sports, or you in any type of social activity, sports or whatever, and you're gonna meet people that way. When you get, to be an adult, you might be at the job and be like, I don't like these people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got to be more. I don't want to say whether it's easier or harder, but you definitely have to be more intentional as an adult.
Yeah, I'll go with John's sentiments on this one. There's definitely some intentionality there, because when you first made the pose the question, I was like, nah, like I don't have time for nothing, but I make time for the people on the screen. I make time for the people I grew up with. I make time for my best friend, so we do make time for people that we want to have in our circle. So I guess we can throw out that whole thing. I don't have time, because we will make the time. We will make the time, even if it's for a minute. Like me and my best friend, I don't have to talk to him for 2 months. And as soon as we get on the phone, it's like we've been talking for the whole 2 months. So, and it's an understanding, like, yo, bro, what's going on? Yo, I'm in the middle of a project. I'm in the middle of this, that, and the other. So I guess, yeah, if you got to make time, you can make time. The time can be made. So I guess we can scratch that off about I don't have time. We scratch that one off the list.
So the next place I want to take us on this journey is the issue of trust. Having friendships, maybe in the past where your trust has been broken, and then being in a space where you want new friends, but how do you trust again? It's a scary place to be. Like, how do I make myself feel comfortable to be vulnerable enough to let somebody in deep enough to call my friend? So what I wanted to do is I wanted us to talk about, especially if you felt like this or experienced it, how hard is it to not just find new people, but to open yourself up to establish trust with someone new? So anybody can jump in.
I'll take that one first. I think for me, because of my travels, I trust everyone that I talk to 100% out the gate. And it's because I don't have time to try to maneuver and figure out why I should not trust you. So I'm the one that, here's the trust, you take it, you break it, and that's what you did. I'm not the one that you have to build up levels of trust with me. So let me put that in two categories, because it's in my head it's sounding crazy. So I'm not going to give you all my secrets within the first 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months we're talking, but you will grow into as I feel like I can impart some of this stuff on you, I will do that. But having new friends, especially all right, sorry, John, I'm gonna put you on the spot. When me and John first talked, right? We just made a bond. It was crazy, because we met so we could talk about an interview I wanted to do with him, and some things are going on in the background. I was handling something. He came back. He's like, "Yo, I need to do this for you right now." And I was like, "Whoa, word!" And so it was an instant bond with John. So it's different with everybody. Like some people instantly is like, that's my dude. And some dudes you gotta he's in. But I give trust right up front. Like everybody that's on this panel, Tony, everybody's on this panel. Like I gave you my trust up front. Like I didn't, I could tell the different levels of when we had conversations of straight lightly, go back to John. Like you can't say nothing slick to John without John saying something slick to back. You got to figure it out. Was he serious with that right there? And once you get to know him, sometimes he ain't serious. It's just the way his antics. So yeah, absolutely. I think you should go into. I don't think you should carry your old baggage into new relationships. That person didn't hurt you. That person didn't do whatever was done. So I think you should just go in trusting everybody.
I love what the OG Tony Watts said, but I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but trust is not easy for me. Like I don't do it. So um I'm I'm very able to maintain relationships with people at a topical level. Can, you know, I can navigate relationship spaces and be friendly and engaging and all that and never offer any real trust. Like I got people that have known me for decades and don't know when my birthday is. Like trust just ain't my thing. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I think it's probably more wrong than it is right, but it's just me personally. I don't. And so I understand some people, it's just not either natural or it's not something atmospheric that is easy for them to do. Is just to extend trust. Some people, man, they will tell you their deepest, darkest secrets. And, oh, when I was growing up, this, that, and the other, you'll know me for a couple of years and not be sure if I still have parents, because if you don't ask the question, even if you do ask the question, I'm gonna be like, what's it to you? Why you want to know? So no, trust, that is not my thing. No, that takes a while with me.
All right, trust. When Tony Watts was talking about it, the first thing that came to mind was count on them, trust. Can you get to the place where you can count? You say, I can trust, like how John was saying, real keeping it on the surface, interacting, joking around, that stuff. But can you get to the place where you can actually depend on someone else or to rely on someone to do something for you? Now that is trust. See, so oftentimes when we think about the surface stuff, everyone can say, yeah, I'm real trustworthy. I'm open. I'm good. I'm meeting people all the time. But do they know your business? Nope. Do they know? Come on. Do they really know those intimate details about your life? Like, you'll have that type of person with your good personality. It's like everyone see you as their best friend, but none of them are your best friends. You can have that personality. But what comes to mind also is where so many of us, and I'll speak just from the man side, so many of us, it's hard to trust because our dad wasn't there. How, when you're dealing with parents, if your parents are not showing up for you, how do you ever get to the place where someone that isn't your parent, the people who you're in your mind and in your thinking is supposed to care the most about you, supposed to be there for you, supposed to show up over and over and over again? I'm the kid. Why are you not showing up for me in the way that I need you to show up? So how do you ever, if you grew up in that type of environment, how do you ever get to the place where you would ever put that trust in someone else that's always going to be less than your parents? And the way that you kind of start that is putting the trust in yourself. And let me explain that. When you could get to the place and space where you can show up for yourself enough and understanding that you stand on such a foundation that not that you don't need someone else, but you have established for yourself that to be able to trust. I can trust myself so much that I can actually see it being lived out in another human being. Because yes, I didn't get it from my mom and dad, but I have followed through on stuff so much. I have found myself to be trustworthy regarding the things that matter to me, that I am able to start to see it in someone else. See, what we tend to do, and I'll take it from the relationship side of it, what we tend to do is that part of our heart, even if we say we're healed from a hard breakup, a part of us had that mindset that last time. But remember when that last time? Like, are you saying that the last time, that situation, that's going to define what your future looks like? Are you saying that because of what happened to you, that has now stained, marked, and shaped the rest of your life? So there's no such thing as better days ahead than what you've been through before. Is that what you're telling me? Because at the core root of some elements of our lives, even if we've healed, even though we have accomplished great things, some elements of our life, that may be deep down in the bottom part of our heart, where we still think at times like, I ain't willing to do that because of that. I'm willing because of that happening. I don't know if I'm open to, but that's kind of how you limiting God like that. I'll take it there. How are you limiting God? God says, why are you not trusting in what my word says over what you've experienced? Why are you not running faster ahead and daring to trust me to take care of your needs? Why can't I be your sufficiency in all things? So you say, well, because, God, I don't see you every day. You're not my everyday. I know I pray to you and I look to you to back me up, but you're not in my face every day. I haven't gone to a situation where I get to see you like that, but you do get to see me because you're forgetting all the stuff that you're thankful for is why you're not looking and seeing me anymore. You're not paying attention for all the things that I've brought you through and done for you. Like I have showed up for you over and over and over again. Even when you fell short, I kept showing up. So you have an example that you can trust in. You have an example, but yet we still let the things of our past shape our future, limit God in our future by saying, oh, because of the last time, I don't know if I could do that again. I don't know if I could do that again. And it's going to be a manifestation of what your life. If that's what you believe in the inner core being, that is going to surround you. It is going to keep showing up in your life over and over again. So don't limit God. Don't limit yourself by believing and letting your past determine your future.
Well, let me just jump in real quick because it says something that's really, really important. In the book, The Body Keeps Score, right? And this is one of the reasons why I'm about to do this trauma series starting on the 26th, Saturday, is because if you don't have an intimate relationship with your parents within the first 2 to 3 years of your life, you will become non-trusting of people because you haven't learned. There's neural networks that are put together that are formed because of the bond between a child and its parents. So if those bonds aren't there, right, then you can't trust other people. It's not because you don't want to, it's because your brain has been programmed not to. So sometimes it's a little deeper than that for a person to be non-trusting. And we have to give, this is going to be my word for the rest of my life. We have to give grace to understand where people came from so we can understand how to love them and how to get them to a space to create new neural pathways that says, I can trust this person. This person has my back. This person will still talk to me no matter, what we go through. Like even when I'm way left field, I can come back and the person will, love on me. They will care about me because they understand where I came from. They understand there's things that I'm dealing with that I haven't come to the other side with, right? And when you know people like that, you have to understand sometimes they're going to be volatile. They're going to do some stuff that's outside of your scope of why they're doing that, and you want to cut them off. Don't, because you have to give them that space. This is deeper than because when we first started the conversation, we're talking about I met Rick and me and Rick is hanging out and we both like the same girl and I got mad with Rick because he didn't tell me he was talking to her. No, this what I'm talking about right now goes way deeper than that, and those are the things that we have to make sure that we understand about people before we start making higher judgments. We'll land my plane there.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Gunner Man.
Yeah, Tony Watts is talking about what's called RAINs. RAINs are the grooves in your brain, the chemical grooves that are made by certain patterns, things that you experience, and that digs in deep. RAINs are something that it's the chemical pathways that is like your habits, your typical habits. So actually, when you want to develop a new habit that's similar to what the RAIN is, the groove that's set, you're actually developing new pathways right alongside the deep pathway. So it's easy to slip right back in. So you can find yourself doing something for a short period of time, but as soon as it kind of rubs the wrong way or finds that you're back into that old groove because you're actually developing new grooves right next to the deep pattern grooves of your belief. So it takes time and consistency. The word is consistency, daring to trust. And that's one of the greatest benefits of loving God and trusting God is that I'm going to constantly run to you, believing that you got my back, that you have me covered. But unless you test it in a lot of different areas of your life, it's hard to believe that. You know, these are just like empty words to so many people. And in categories of my life, it's empty words. But a lot of areas of my life, it's not empty words. I'm living it full book with areas like, God, I don't know if I'm trusting you with this one. But you got to it takes time, consistency over and over to develop new ways of thinking and believing regarding a subject. Professor X.
So I'm gonna take a couple minutes to kind of peel the onion back a little bit. I'm gonna take a different because my trust has some qualifiers, and that's my part of my I would say a toxic trait, if you will, because I'm mostly reformed people pleaser. So I showed up as a people pleaser in a lot of my friendships in the past. And, you know, people who give so much, you never really get back what you give. A lot of times you don't even get 50% of it back. You might get 10. And when I started realizing a pattern of my own creation of these people who just wanted to siphon everything from me and not really check for me, but we supposed to be, you know, tight. And I was like, I don't need you in my life if you're going to even though I'm doing everything to make sure that you good. You my boy. When you calling me at midnight, you got to cut. I'm asleep. I'm getting up. I'm going to help you change your tire. Boy, my boy, right? But then if I need something that's like, where's he at? Once we go through this like 10, 20, 30 times, I'm like, I don't know why. So then you have 2, 3, 4 people like this in your life. You like, okay, well, maybe I need to figure out who I'm picking. And then I'm like, okay, now I look for reciprocal before you get access to that gate to get into the trust. So I give you a little bit. I'm going to see if it come back. I'm going to give you a little bit more. I'm going to see if it come back. And if I'm always doing the work, we're not going to be but so tight. You can be, because it's like a sliding scale, right? Friend is here, you know, acquaintance, dude you hang out at the bar with. You can be on that scale, but that friend thing, you're going to get we're going to have fun in our circumstantial area, but you're not getting invited to Thanksgiving dinner. That's how I need the tennis match. If I don't get that, then I kind of detach from. I have to maintain my peace because I can't be that guy anymore because it left me feeling empty, like needing the friendship but not getting it back, and this person is just there. So I hope that makes sense. And so yeah, I'm gonna just land there. I can talk about that all night. That's the story of my life.
Hey, Derek, do you also think, since you're a giver, problems with givers, they don't teach people how to give? You do the giving, but you don't teach people how to give to you.
Yeah.
That concept that I'm good. How many times you might have said that I'm good? No, hey, I'll cover this. I'll pay for this bill. I'm good. And you do that enough that the person that you're hanging with thinks that's just how it is with you. So they don't try to, not that they're against giving to you or doing for you, but you have never allowed them to. You haven't given them or taught them how to. Not always. Possibly.
That's a double-edged sword, though.
That's what
because I've been in situations where I've been with people that we'll just say financially much more well off than them. So the assumption becomes that when we go out or if we're eating lunch or whatever, they got it. And I had to push back on that mentality. Like, generosity isn't a measure of how much you have financially, or generosity is a measure of your heart. And there are times when, I started realizing that although they can afford to grab the tab, it ain't gonna hurt me to grab the tab every once in a while, just to say I appreciate you and I actively want to be a part of this relationship, instead of, oh, I found somebody who I can just come in and skate and be carried. And so I think in some cases, yes, we do have to teach people how to give back. But a lot of times you just got to look back and think, hey, am I bringing something to the table? We don't like to use that in dating, but do I bring something to this relationship? Am I offering of anything that I have? Do I bring value? And I think sometimes we get to the point where, we just enjoying what's happening, that we're not taking that time to look at ourselves and say, am I actually adding value? Am I at least trying to have this conversation? Like, can I do something to honor you, to show you that I value you? Like, what does it take to at least just have a conversation, not just assume, oh, man, Derek get it all the time, so he good. You know what I mean? So
I think that's really right on point. Just to piggyback off what Rick was saying and what Derek was saying, like, I think it's what's difficult is, and excuse my expression, we're grown men, right? So I shouldn't have to pull reciprocation out of you, right? You see, I'm here. And if I'm telling you I'm here for you consistently, and I'm showing up consistently, and you're always avoidance, and you're always, it's not the same. It's pretty hard to get to a space to be like, how do I pull you in? So I would just offer this, right, for people that's listening. This is what I do, right? I will go to the person and be like, listen, right now in my head, this is our friendship in my head, but you don't show up that way for me. So let's work that out. Like, how are you? This is how I'm showing up. If I need to back out a little bit, let me know, because I'm giving you all of this, and I feel like you're kind of running around, and I don't see you. I text you 2 or 3 times. You don't text me back to 6 weeks later. So what are we doing? Like, I know how to back out. So tell me if I need to back out. You know what I mean? And you telling me, no, keep going. And I have to revisit that conversation. After that conversation, like Derek said, I closed the gate and I talk to you from here. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? So, I'll land my plane there.
Yeah, I'm a master detacher. What I do is I give you, like, I know I'm an engineer. I give you a series of tests. We're gonna ping a couple times. If that ping don't come back, I'm gonna stop. If I don't get anything back, relationship over. Like, we're not talking about people I've known for years. We're talking about brand new. And you not even engaged. Like, we done had the conversations. Man, you like my brother. Man, we gonna hang out. Man, let's do some things. And then I'm like, all right, cool, man. All right, I already got the place set up. We about to, and then nothing. Hold on, where you at? You good? Are you okay? So your family good? Everything good? Crickets. 3 weeks later, man, I'm just checking in on you, man. Whatever. Another month later, have a good day, man. I'm good. I don't have, and I say this to Alicia. I've been saying this to Alicia for at least a decade. I don't chase dudes. I can't. That's just not my. I can't. You call me what you want to. I'm not going to chase you to be my friend at this age. There's no way you go. Not a brand new person that I don't really know yet. Nah, my life was cool before I met you. We're gonna find some new ones. I'm not gonna give up on the mission, because I've learned now that I need to have community and friends, but I can't. I'm not. And whatever they going through, not my problem.
Right. The part of the grace is that the crazy thing about it is that we hardly ever see ourselves in a negative light. We hardly ever see ourselves in a negative light. So we could be doing this and be absolutely clueless that it's us sometimes. It's us sometimes, This is an amazing conversation. I think we should have had this conversation probably a long time ago, but it's necessary now. So things are hitting home. So thank you, Derek, for putting this one together. What's next, baby? Professor.
I had to say that, man. I know some of my movements might sound toxic to people, but I'm not 20 no more. This time means everything to me now. It means more than it ever did. So the next place I want to go, looking at the time, because we got a few more. Y'all, my bros just sent me a lot of good areas to go through. So I want to make sure I want to get. Matter of fact, let's do this to make sure we get this in. So this was one that Rick sent in saying, breaking the comfort of being alone, being by yourself for a long period of time, and then having to try to be open enough to integrate a friendship in. And then I'm gonna piggyback another statement onto that. That mean I keep saying me and Alicia, because we as adults, we are continuously on a mission to make new friends, and we like, yo, like I thought that one was gonna work. No, dang, that was a good one. I don't know what happened. So, but then there's the other thing. When you go so long without having like a partner, like a close partner, it's almost like you almost don't even know how to be a friend again. Like you got to retrain yourself how to be a good friend. A lot of people, they're like, dang, I don't even know how to function in this. It's been like 5 years. It's 10 years. I don't even know if I know how to show up as a friend, because I've been alone for so long. And I've built comfort here. I've built isolation. Nobody can hurt me. Nobody can do that. I'm open, but this comfort zone feels, I don't know if I can allow somebody in there. So anybody want to jump in on any of that? Or not?
Yeah, well, I posed the question because that was my life for so long. Like I was sharing with Tony Watson, sharing behind the scenes about, always being full of energy and life of the party, full of all this thing, but no one got close. I didn't have anyone in close. I call it the tears of the clown, where I'm always there to make you laugh and joke. Oh, make sure we pick him up, because he gonna break it down. He gonna have fun. We gonna tear up with Gunter. What we about to do? We're about to do. Friends used to pick me up and take me down south, do events, because they making sure the party is coming with them. But inside, I had no close friends. Inside, no one knew all the stuff I was feeling about life and love and living and abandonment. Who knew? Who knew all that stuff that I was feeling and believing to be my truth? Because, like I said, so often it's not what we're doing in recent times that's affecting our lives. It's what we've been through when we were younger. Our first decade of life. We have been living in that first decade of life for 20, 30 years. See what I'm saying? You're still living in that first decade of life, affected by and believing in, but your mind was only 8. Your mind was only 14. You didn't fully grasp everything. Now, not to take away and say that what you went through wasn't traumatic. I ain't saying that at all, because that could have been left crazy marks on you. But if you're still operating from a place, it's like almost like you got to find a way to take responsibility for that situation. I'm getting an echo. Am I clear on your side? So yeah, so you got to push back against that, because you got to say, okay, well, there's nothing I could do about that. That wasn't my fault. I was a kid, where I was raised, where I brought up, my neighborhood, and the people that raised me, but I still am responsible for the managing of it. I have to do something with it. And that's the hard part, to move forward and not let the past dictate your future, which I've shared already, So when you're talking about being lonely, you're okay with just trusting yourself, but that's not living. Because real living is being there for other people to help them succeed. That's real living. Being able to know that that you could count on someone else to carry you through or to see you through or to give you a greater insight towards a situation. So it's not only me trying to become a dancer, it's me becoming a dancer along with the information as you a dancer. And oh yeah, Derek, Mr. Dancer above, right, man? Grew up a dancer also, loved to dance. So it was me connecting with my man, Professor X, and saying, hey, I'm going to learn some dance steps from you. You're going to learn some dance steps from me. So my understanding about dance and the abilities that I have are like, it's exponential. It's growing so much because you're connecting with your people just like this. We all have our own platform, but I'm hoping as we got together as the Real Shop Talk that what we are now all gleaning, we're taking away and giving to a system that is showing us so much more about our areas of business, so much more. We have to treasure that. We have to show up for that. We have to lead into that. We have to make time for that. And that takes work. You know, it takes obligation. You being intentional, like, hey, even if I got to be stoic about it and I got to put down in my schedule, call this one on this particular day, ask about this, take notes. Oh, hey, he went through this. Let me put the little note about it. And when I call, I'm going to ask him about that. They don't need to know that you're taking all those notes, but all they know is not only are you showing up, not only are you showing up and seeing how you're doing, but you're asking intimate questions about what's going on in your life. You're not there just to talk about you and what they can do for you. No, that ain't friendship. You got to be able to show up, find out what's going on with the person that you called. You called, not they ain't call you, you called. You now have to find out and ask, how are they doing? And the person who received that phone call, you better be of the right mind to ask how you doing, what's going on in your life, what are you up to, what's going on with you? Because if you ain't doing that, what person's going to keep calling? Who going to keep calling? Who? You tell me who. So this loner thing is actually showing your cards that you could only think about you and you haven't made time to think about someone else because that's a protection for you. I feel safe in this, but feeling safe and not being able to gain so much more that life has to offer, you're actually robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself of all the wonder and splendor that is still out there. Yes, you got to take a chance and be vulnerable at times. People are going to let you down, just like you have let people down in the past. Just like you have let people down in the past, people will let you down. But that's all right. You pick yourself up, have the conversation, have the hard conversation, and guess what? You keep on going. You keep on building. You keep on showing up. I messed up this time, so give me another chance to try it again. I know if I keep messing up, but look, if I'm calling, at least I'm trying something. At least I'm trying something. And if you got to teach me better because I don't know better, teach me. Sit me down and spell out what treating you better looks like. If it has to be a conversation fully words, we'll do X, Y, Z, ZYX, practice that a little bit and see where that takes you. You know, see, because this is, you might say, but why don't you know you're around me enough? Can't you see? All of a sudden I'm quiet during this and this and that, and you're not even checking in on me. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? You're not even checking in, you know? It's like, so how could you say with your mouth, you my boy, you my man, you my dude, you my dog, yo, I'm showing up for you, but no, you not. No, you're not, because to the person who don't get that asked question, what you up to, that sounds like a lie. Just sounds like hype. I'll land it there.
Like we normally say about this time, let's get the collection played out. But let me do this first, right? Rick, I want to honor you for a second, right? Because people looking in would think, because of your personality, because of your cheeriness, that you have a team around you. Always had some best friends walking with you through this journey, right? And it's one of the things I love about you. You're able to say, I didn't have that. I had pockets where somebody would walk with me to the corner, then they would leave, and I have to go 4 or 5 blocks by myself. And then I saw John on this corner, and he was going to the store. We went past the store. All right, Rick, I'll talk to you later. And I had to journey further by myself. No one's actually walked with me through this path. And that's important because when you start dealing with men who haven't done the work that Rick has done, right? And you try to get into relationships with them, it becomes strange for them. Why don't you trust me, baby? Because I don't trust nobody. Because I don't know how to do that. It's not because they don't want to. It's because they don't know how. No one's been there to teach them those steps of how to trust people, right? And this is one of the reasons why the Real Shop Talk exists and our platforms exist, is so people can have the understanding that your past is your past. We understand it was difficult. But now you're in a situation where you can do better. You can be better. You have people around you to help you do better. And the things that we're offering you, right? Especially what Rick just said about sitting down and having the hard conversations. Men that are listening to this, I'm gonna say this out loud for you. Stop being afraid to be vulnerable, because you're hurting yourself more by holding it in and not letting the people know how you feel. Right? If you let somebody know how you feel and they still slap you in your face, at least that's a slap in the face you knew came. You got it early. Holding on, thinking that they're going to change and they might do something different, and then then 2 or 3 years later they break your heart. That's a worse feeling, because you've been putting so much time and energy into something you wanted to work, but you never talked about it. You never expressed yourself about it. And then when they just jet out, we would have never been friends. You were my associate. Like, that's going to hurt somebody to think that you and them are really close friends. So learn how to express yourself. It's better that I'm going to just do it this way. Some people that I talk to get in relationships and they come to me and go, Tony, we going out, and I love, when I'm hanging out with them, and it's so beautiful, but I don't know what we are. And I'll go ask. I don't want to. What do you mean you don't want to? I don't want to mess it up. The fact that in your head that if you say something's going to mess it up is a problem. So if you're looking for relationships with anybody, romantic relationships, regular relationships, if you have in your head that person doesn't reciprocate the way you need, you're not sure, go get sure. Because it's better to hurt up front than later on pile on all the mistrust you've already got to some more mistrust. That's a real heavy thing to bury yourself out of. It's a real heavy thing to bury yourself out of. I'll land my plane there.
You good over there, John? You good? You gonna pass the mic? I got a video clip I want to play, guys. He's deferring to the video clip. So this video clip, kind of speaks to a little bit about some of the stuff Tony Watts was literally just talking about, about how, when we lose trust in people, we isolate, and we think that isolation is protecting us, but a lot of times has the opposite effect. So I'm going to play this video. I think it's like 3 minutes. So just kind of bear with it, but make sure that you watch the whole thing with us, guys, because we're gonna just kind of give our little slight comments afterwards. So stand by.
I don't leave the house. I play basketball and I go home. I don't care what y'all do no more. Like, all I care about is playing basketball all day. I go home and I try to talk to my kids as much as I can. I don't see them as much as I can because I'm not traveling as much no more. I don't know what to expect when I leave this house no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I've reached out and I've reached out and I've reached out and I've reached out and I've reached out so more that I gotta die with some kind of dignity.
B, that's not sustainable. Like, you too young, bro. That's not sustainable, bro. You can still play ball. So that's not sustainable.
So I can come up here and I can tell you somebody else's life, and I'm willing to do it. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my head backward. I'm gonna put a smile on for you, and I'm gonna, like, bro, I'm gonna.
You don't gotta put nothing on for me.
Like, or I can just sit back and I'm gonna tell you what it is. Like, I'm not. I know that's not sustainable, but at the same time, like, what?
Bees, none of us can do it. None of us can do it alone, bro.
Reach out.
Go out.
You
Go,
have
hold
to
on,
change,
time out. Go out
change
where?
the narrative.
Go out where?
Go out, talk to people, interact with people. Like, bro, real talk. I'll call us out. Us three. Bro, you be in Miami?
Y'all party. I don't party, bro.
No. We don't party, bro. I'm talking about you have kids, I have kids. Come to my house. We can get bounce houses for the kids. We can sit back on the porch, drink a couple beers, drink some wine, hang out. Like, bro, that's not a normal, successful man's life to sit up in the house like that. Like, you got to find good people. And us three can be good people. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's not, that's not sustainable,
no
bro.
disrespect to what y'all got going on. I've been trying to find good people for so long. I'm tired, bro.
I would say this. It's a 100%, bro. It's so okay to be tired, though.
I got, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't got nothing left. You ain't got nothing left to give
I'll
people.
tell you this, bro. I'll be it. Like, whatever you need, dog. Like, you just want to talk. Like, I for sure can't hoop with you. I'll go out there and pass that hoe. Like, what we're saying is, bro, like, we want to be those people. Bringing you here wasn't about this. I wanted to talk basketball and hoops. But, dog, folks love you, dog. Nobody want to see you go through this.
I got me a Beasley jersey out the motherfucking house. Because I was down here when he got drafted.
I think the thing is, man, like so many times as black men, we are asked because of talent to carry everybody. We are not made to carry everybody. Black women are asked to carry everybody. They are not made to carry everybody. Dog, it takes a fucking village, bro. And at some point, you got to have somebody who don't need shit from you, who don't want shit from you, who want to see you win, man. Like, we don't do this shit for us. Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to say this, right? The first time I saw this clip, I probably watched this thing about maybe 5 or 6 times. I saw myself in him. I would say like the majority of what he said, I used to be him. Because I didn't trust anybody. So I made my own. Like it's like what I always used to tell my daughter when she was young, when she didn't have friends, and I'd be like, make your own fun. I made my own fun. I found ways to be okay with going out alone. It took a while. But I was like, let me just go out by myself and have fun. And that way I don't have to worry about anybody else. I would say maybe within the past, just recently, maybe 5 years, I've realized that I cannot function solo and grow as a human being. Like, we really need each other. Like, I was that guy that was like, I'm good like this. I've built this thing that functions without the collective, without a friend, because this way I can move how I want to and I can claim I'm having fun. I'm doing me. I can bob and weave and move how I want to. And it like the guy said, it's not sustainable. It's not. COVID broke me because I was like, yo, I want to be around some people now. And I can't. So I'm going to land there, man. This right here was, yeah.
Yeah, this one still breaks my heart. Every time I see it, I really get emotional behind this, because we look at we look at having money as success, and having money means that I should be happy. This kid's an NBA baller, played for several teams, got the money, got everything. And because of situations and whatever those things were, he felt that he had to isolate himself, not to have friends. And I don't know if anybody else caught it. When he said, I got this much left, the next person that hurt that man, he might take himself out of here if he's not rooted and grounded in something that can sustain him. And there's millions of men walking around, hanging out, hanging out with dudes with the same mindset. These kids on the corner have isolated themselves with non-trust. Yeah, you my man. You this, you that, you that, you that. But let a shorty with a fat booty come by. I can't say anything because it's the hood, so I can't show my emotions. Right? So then you start going and you start isolating yourself. You might come out and dap somebody up, be friends with them, but you begin to isolate yourself because so many people are letting you down. People you thought you can trust are letting you down. I thought he's gonna take care of me. I thought he's gonna help me out. If I went to the club and the fight broke out, he really didn't help me out that way. Just little things start happening, and you start isolating yourself because now I can't trust anybody. But you're around these people, right? But if there's no trust, so what you do is you start going backwards. You start taking yourself in. I'm not coming out. I'm not coming out the house no more. No, you want to hang out? No, I don't want to hang out. I don't want to go out. For a 33-year-old young man to say, I don't got it for nobody no more. I don't have nothing to give. That's heavy. That's really, really heavy. And I don't know what to say. Like, how do you I'm happy that they brought him in, because how do you take care of that? How do you reach somebody like that? And Derek, I appreciate you telling us your story, because we talk about it all the time. But how do you come back from, like, if you don't know how to do that type of work, and because you do relationships, you figure it out. Hey, wait, time out. This is not going to work for me. This cat doesn't do relationships. He does his kids, and he stays in the house.
And the powerful thing about that clip was that the redemption came from the community. It came from those gentlemen having the wherewithal to say, I see you, brother, and we got you. And they wasn't his best friends. They saw probably some of themselves in him, because we're all connected. So for me, and I, this show was a test for me. That y'all was a test for me, because I detached crazy. So I was like, let me not do what I normally do and see how it goes. So anyway, I'm gonna land there.
Man, that was a powerful clip. I think to know anything about Michael Beasley's story, like when he came out of Kansas State, man, it was like the question was who was better, him or Kevin Durant? That's how good he is. 6'10" and can do everything. Just unstoppable offensively. And it was the talent, and he talks about it even in that whole episode, is that the way he grew up, just getting in trouble and all of that. So he realized he had something, so he would focus on it, but he wasn't raised, they did this, that, and the other. And across his career, he's been an easy punchline, because people say you're talented, you're successful, people pay you a lot of money, and people have treated him like, because he's successful, he's got money, or whatever people want to put on you to call it strength, they excuse treating you inhumane because of that strength. You can take anybody that might be watching, or any of us on there, and they'll say, oh, well, Derek is really smart and analytical, so I can say this, and that about him, as if Derek's not a person. Or, Tony from New York, he rah, and I can say this, and that, as if he's not a person. And we get really comfortable saying, oh, well, you got money, you got this, you got that, so you should be able to take my disrespect and my inhumane treatment. But I believe them bringing him on that show was huge, because, Ryan Clark closed it up beautifully. It's like, oh, we see you as strong, so we expect stuff out of you, but we don't honor you enough to give you the basic components of humanity. And so I think that that's really going to be important, and that's a lesson. He said it, you need to be around somebody that don't need nothing from you, don't want nothing from you, just want to be in your presence because you're you. And that's one of the biggest, especially us as men. And I don't want to, I hate doing that whole, well, men got it better than women. Man, I'm not trying to trauma bond with nobody. You know what I'm saying? We going through it. So I'm not racing you to see who got it harder. Let's make it better. But the thing that you have to understand is that sometimes you value yourself based on what you can do and not who you are. And you surround yourself with people that value the thing and not you. And then the thing, as with all things, at some point you can't do the thing no more. And now there aren't people around you that value you simply because of. And adult friendships, we got to make sure, all of us are men that have experiences and expertise in this place, that place. We got to make sure that we're putting our heart and our trust in safe spaces with people who are going to love us through our life transitions and not just love us for our current positions. So,
love us for our life transitions, not for our what? Current position?
Current position.
That's dope. What I heard echoed to me over and over again is how he felt he kept trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. Who was around him? Who in the world was around him? Because you're assuming NBA star, you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes that love to talk crap, that none of them have shown up in his life enough for him to feel protected, to be safe, to feel like he has a team, not a team that wants something from him, because that doesn't make your team. A team is you being around you because you are you. And like John said, and like the Darren Clark said, that not looking for something in return. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just trying to hang out. I love you for you, not for what you can provide me. Not what you can provide me. I'm not looking to get anything from you other than your time, your presence, and maybe some good laughs. But he said he kept trying to find that and couldn't find it. If you can keep pushing and pushing to try to develop something that's real around a group of people that are not willing to show up on that real, inside, intimate, connected, I am there for you level, what ends up happening is that life happens to you and it no longer happens for you. It happens to you and it's no longer happening for you. Because at some point for you was you practice basketball so much that you made it to that elite percentage of people that actually made it to the NBA. That's life happening for you because of the hard work, because of the work you put in. It's life happening for you. At some point, you realize that the human connection is probably more important than that financial freedom. Human connection, human element, the human touch, human conversation, the human side of my life actually matters to someone else. And it's not because what I can give them. My life matters. Probably like when I talk about not having friends, like childhood friends that I hung out with all the time, like how John says, I have friends from my neighborhood, friends from high school, and then now, of course, the military. I didn't have that stuff. I don't have that stuff. So when I connected with like a new girlfriend, I'm like, I never had, I can't wait till you meet blah, 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 because he gonna bust me wide open telling you all the madness that I never had that. I had pockets. Like I have someone that could speak to me about a particular moment that we shared, but I don't have a ride and die. These people only traveled to me to that corner, and then I was alone. Then I met someone else alone, and I traveled to a couple more corners, and then I was alone again. So here I'm listening to him echo like I kept trying. I just got to the place where I wouldn't even try. I would just find my own fun. I will be the party. I will be the party. If then I will find ways of having fun by myself. I set my life up that way. I'm going to pursue things like, you go, like I'm from the entertainment world, and we would do these events, and people will go to these events. Everyone in the company's there, and everyone at the company, they're interacting amongst themselves, building closer bonds. Me, I'm focused. I'm not even trying to talk with anyone. I'm trying to go when it's time for me to perform. I want to blow the roof off the spot. So when everyone is over there connecting and talk, I'm Mr. Loner. I'm walking around and I'm introducing myself to, and now this is like a big convention. Every young kid, every teenager, every adult that has kind of connected and kind of fun. I'm trying to memorize every single person's name that I met. So when it's time to perform, and it's time for Ricky G to go on, because that's what I'm known in that world, what I would do, I don't have any friends now, because at the end of the show, I leave, and I'm not talking, and no close bonds are built. But at the show, everyone's talking about me because I named it in a short period of time. I'm naming 250 people that I just met randomly as I walked through the facility, because I was spending no time talking to these friends who I work with, developing any real relationships. But it's about the boom, the boom, the boom. But then here I am. I'm driving home and I'm having a conversation with no one. No one. I just rocked the house. I just ripped it up. And I'm going home alone with no one to talk to about what just happened. Think about that. If you had something amazing happen in your life and you had no one to share it with, tell me how good that situation feels. You have no one has journeyed with you to see you say, damn, I remember when you couldn't even remember blah, 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 blah. Because that would be the joke. How you remembering all that? But I remember when you barely used to blah, 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 You gotta, this right here, this real shop talk gotta take root somewhere along the line, because this is what's needed. This is what's needed to grow, to see life in a bigger way. I believe that if I'm a part of your life has to get better. And why do I say that? Because I keep reaching out. I will keep reaching out because I know what it feels like to be on the other side. All the money that you could ever imagine. I grew up from the age of 21, never, ever, ever having to wonder about money. Can I go this? Can I get that? Can I do this? Can I do that? Not a problem. I'm six figures. I'm only 20-something years old. 6 figures back then. Imagine that. You make it 6 figures back then. It started off at just 84,000. And then it went to like 100 and something. Then it went up to 168,000 a year. And, I'm traveling, I'm going, I'm ripping and running. And I'm thinking that life has to get happier. Nope. Had all the money in the world. Matter of fact, and Tony contested, I've spent over $1 million in my lifetime. That's how much money I burned through giving and going and dipping and diving and all that madness. And I wasn't happy. I had no inner joy. I had no people that I was traveling with on a regular basis I felt so connected to. None. So I understand that Beasley. I understand that Beasley because I lived that Beasley part of the story. But what I didn't do regarding Beasley, I didn't stay in. I just kept going out to serve. That was the savior for me. I kept finding people who were in need, and I kept lending my life to them over and over again. And in the midst of lending my life to people, I found that I was getting answers to the deep, dark questions in my own particular life. And it saved me. Serving people say, okay, you're Red Cross. And I posted just recently, I'm 14 years with the American Red Cross. I've given my life to showing up to people in their worst situation. And over the last year or so, I'm part of SAF, which is I'm serving military services to the armed forces, men and women that are willing to lay their life on the line, that I'm showing up to let them know that I'm there for them. So yeah, this is what we men do. Imagine living a life where you don't have a voice. You can't share your innards because it's not culturally acceptable. And you wonder why by the time we get to a certain ages, is we're the ones all hunched over and cripply looking while the wife is now taking care of us and she's still sprightly. You can't carry the whole world. You can't win and then see yourself as the person in charge of carrying everybody. That's not winning. I'll land there.
So what I want to do to kind of ride a little bit of the rest of the show out, I did have some other questions, but I think they'll change the tone of the show. So let's do this. Let's talk about how and or possibly what can we do to garner new friendships? How do we make ourselves in our heads, or even physically, where would we, what type of places would we go to leave ourselves open to meet people? I hope that makes sense. Like we're talking about people who isolate. We're talking about how hard it is. We're talking about all of this stuff. So now we want to try to look for a hopeful place, from a hopeful view. Who do we have to become? What do we do? Where do we have to go in order to make ourselves accessible and available for these new friendships as adults? It may be difficult. We may be traumatized, whatever it is, but we got to keep pushing, man. We supposed to be locking arms. So go ahead, Tony.
Well, I think to borrow from Rick's thing, you got to find your tribe. So if you've been in a house all this time, and you kind of you're kind of feeling lonely, if you like to paint, go to a paint and sip. Figure out what that looks like. Go to the museum. You gotta have to start going to places that make sense, like that fosters whatever talent you have, that fosters whatever thing that, like, I appreciate Rick saying that service kept him sane, kept him in a good place. And and you might not even know that service is your thing, right? Go down to the Red Cross and sign up and see what that looks like. Go to a food kitchen and sign up and see what that looks like. Yeah, right? Your local church. I'm not saying go to the service, but if your local church is big enough, they might have a program where you can sit down and talk to people. Like you can meet people, right? There has to be something to do. You have to learn how to put yourself out there. And I'm not saying walk through the door and say, "Here's my number. Look, you're my best friend," but fill the environment out. But if you don't go out and do something, you're going to do nothing, right? What's the saying? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you got to go out there and figure it out. Another thing that Derek says all the time that's really important. Sometimes you got to get out of your community. Sometimes you got to make that trip. Sometimes you got to travel. Go travel for an hour out, half an hour out. Go to a city that you've never been to before. Go hang out. For me, we'd be like, go hang out in Mamaroneck. What I'm going to do in Mamaroneck? If anybody, Rick knows what I'm talking about. What I'm doing in Mamaroneck. But Mamaroneck has a lot.
Mamaroneck.
Right. They got a lot of little shops, a lot of little coves and places that you can go and see different cultural things. Never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen when you go out to see somebody. You might end up meeting somebody, and you slowly start making relationships from that standpoint, or start reaching out to the people you hang out with. You never know. They might be going through the same exact things that you're going through, and you reaching out to them, filling them out, and start having those type of conversations. You might help pull somebody out of their darkness as you're pulling yourself out of yours. So I'll leave that there.
Bam, I'm next. All right. I'd say the first thing you got to do is, did I pick the wrong time? No, he ain't want nothing from me. You got to do an inventory. So an inventory of self and an inventory of your friends. So do an inventory of yourself. And, you know, we're big on healing, therapy, coaching, all of that good stuff. Do an inventory on yourself. Figure out what some of your spots are. Me and Derek already talked about we ain't trusting. But and then do an inventory of your friend set. You know, because you might actually have some high quality friendships that you're just not utilizing. And so, you know, we don't want to start off, hey, I'm going to throw these relationships away. These might be the relationships you need. You just haven't utilized them correctly. So do your inventory. And when you figure out what you find in your inventory, definitely. So every social interaction doesn't have to be the social interaction that's going to be, oh, this huge circle of trust. It could just be some folks out there you hang out with and have fun. If you're trying to meet new people, they've got groups. They've got, so I remember when I first got out to St. Louis, you know, you could pick groups and the groups aren't based on the people. It's based on the activities. So if you like to shop, they've got groups around here where they can meet up in Georgetown in DC, where there's a bunch of shops, or you can meet up in Old Town here in Alexandria and just like go on shopping. And it doesn't mean that you're going to meet somebody who's going to be your bestie, but it puts you in a position where you're with people with similar interests. Right. And, you know, start doing things like that. One of the things sometimes when I get into that isolation process or whatever, even though I don't want to, I find ways to be more social, you know, just to kind of, sometimes you don't feel like it, but just the act of being social makes you feel better. You know, I got some buddies from work, man, and they love to go to happy hour at this one restaurant, and they got these pomegranate margaritas. And hey, is it martinis or margarita? It's something. I think it's margaritas, yeah. But hey, it's been times where I was like, I don't really want to do this, and then I just got up and went and had the time of my life. And you've got to start putting yourself out there, because you know, as you get older, you know, we're adults now. We process things with a different lens. As kids, you put yourself out there because you didn't have the experience as much of failing. You didn't have the fear of failure. You didn't have this fully formed perception of how you're supposed to look to people. But as an adult, you know, you say, oh, well, I'm supposed to look this way, that way, you know, so I'm afraid to put myself out that way. Whereas a kid, you'd be like, hey, you want to be my friend? Yeah, I want to be your friend. Let's be friends. So honor the fact that it's not going to happen like that all the time as adults. But then once you recognize that, work through that and realize that the boundary might not be the people. It might be this idea of how you feel like it's supposed to happen. So definitely challenge yourself.
Excellent, excellent. I say find, discover, and live your purpose. Pick a purpose. Pick a purpose, something that has been weighing on your heart over and over again that you believe you've been called to do. Because I could tell you this, when you make that decision, when you pick one thing and you go after it, you're going to find that all the jumbleness, the noise, all the thoughts, the wants, the wait till, can't wait, oh my God, this stuff I'm still dealing with, that stuff starts to quietly go away. It starts to dissipate a little. It starts to go into the background, because when you pick a purpose, it has a very unique outcome. Meaning that when you pick a purpose, one, it kind of tells you, it starts to make you stay away from certain people that's not serving that particular purpose. It starts moving you towards people that are serving that purpose. And you'll find that if you're chasing after a particular purpose, that even if the purpose that you were chasing after isn't correct, it will still lead you to that which is meant for you. Because in the midst of choosing that thing and going after it with your whole heart, your mind, you're going to start receiving things that are right for your life. Just because you made the decision to go after something that you believe is your calling, is your purpose, you're going after it, and you'll discover new things about you. So it might be like, oh, I really love to do this, but on the way to it, like, but I love this element of it more. This is what's right for me. But here's the thing. You're going to find that the deep desires that you have, which reminds me of the book, The Alchemist. If you guys never read the book, The Alchemist, please read the book, The Alchemist. It's about a kid, a sheep herder called Santiago. He had dreams and desires to travel the world. He was falling for a particular girl, so he wanted love. And of course, because he was yes. And because he had the heart to be there for his family, because his father gave to him and trusted him, he wanted riches also. But that wasn't his pursuit. But it was a part of a dream that he had. That he dared to travel dang near across the globe to go after this particular dream. He wanted to see this dream. And in the midst, on the journey to, you'll find that the whole entire world, the book says, the universe will conspire to make sure that what you're believing for, it will absolutely come to pass. And I always say God will utilize the whole universe to make sure that what you're pursuing will come to pass. And see, if you don't pick a purpose, you're not going to start to quiet the noise inside your head. You're not going to quiet it. If you don't quiet the noise, it's hard to interact and join forces with the people around you because you're thinking too much about you. Just like John says, you're a kid. You're like, you want to be my friend? You want to be a friend? You ain't thinking about all that extra stuff. No, you quiet that noise, and now you're thinking about what does it take for me to achieve this particular purpose? And in the midst of that, you'll find that the deepest desires of your heart will be met. You will connect with people in ways and shapes that you could just have never imagined. You could never imagine things coming to pass as you pursue a purpose. Probably most of the times when we look back at our lives and the things that caused us just to flutter, it's because we didn't pick a destination to go after. We didn't pick a thing. We didn't get something to focus on. So everything seems too much or too big or just doesn't have my interest fully. So you end up fluttering around all through life and you think it's everyone else but you. But in truth, pick one thing and dare to go after it. And because you dare to go after it, you're going to be able to see and meet people that will be your tribe, that will be a part of something to show you what to do or what not to do. That's what people bring. When people enter your life, they'll show you what to do or what not to do. Because here I am. I'm a guy who originally started as a 9-year-old boy who went to a party in Harlem where kids made fun of me. That has left a mark on me. I told myself that I am never going to be laughed at for dancing again. And I was only 9 years old. So I picked a direction. I'm going to be a dancer. Who knew that dancing would lead me to travel the globe? Who knew that will lead me to emceeing high-end events and concerts all over the United States? Who knew that because I picked the purpose, that people on social media will find me to be so happy? How can you be so happy? I want to tap in. How can you be genuinely? Because I dared to live a dream. So I'm living a life that so many people haven't lived because they didn't choose something they enjoy to do for a living. So it's work for them. For me, it's never felt like a day of work because I'm doing something that I love. But who knew that mark and that joy for life will leave marks on people, that they will come to me and find out, tell me, how are you the way you are? Then it led me to life coaching. Who knew it started with that 9-year-old boy being made fun of at a party in Harlem, led me to hear the Real Shop Talk. I just picked the purpose, picked one thing, and it led me to all the different phases of my life.
So we are at time, I think. This was a good show. A very important show. I'm sure a lot of us, there's probably going to be a show in the future that may touch on some topics that we didn't cover tonight. Because like I said, I had some other things, man, but this thing kind of took a life of its own. But that's how we like to do things here. We want to make sure that if there's an area that we want to focus on, let's ride it out so that you guys can get the value that you need to get out of this. Hopefully, this friendship thing is a conversation in your own lives that doesn't go unnoticed, because we like we always say here, we champion community, we champion relationships, we champion love, and not just romantic love. We love each other, and we need each other. This is difficult to come out of my mouth. We need each other. This is the new Derek. We need to connect with each other and build friendships and connections in order for us to grow. So, so we're gonna wrap it up here. I do want to. I'm gonna let any of the gentlemen say anything they want to say, but I will say, just go to realshoptalk.net. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Click the bell. All of our profiles are there, so you can go and check out what we're doing individually, and also the Real Shop Talk Instagram page, Facebook page. You can see what's going on there as well. That social media on Real Shop Talk is pretty informative, entertaining. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna learn some things. It's amazing. So yeah, just keep coming back, folks. We got some amazing things coming up, and y'all have an amazing rest of your night. Stay safe, take care of yourself, your family, and friends. and we will see you guys next week. You have a great night.